Hello everyone. I am so happy that you could join me again. Today, I want to try to answer the questions that you submitted on my Facebook, Instagram, and YouTube community pages. And besides this Q&A, we are also going to arrange these flowers. Now, there were about 250 questions in all, but several of them followed a similar theme, so I think we can knock out this Q&A rather quickly. And the first question is from Irene Brock Joseph. She says, I love your large wooden cutting board. Would you share where you purchased it? Let me grab that board. So I bought this board from my friend Dan Fennell. Dan also made the round cutting board that's over here on the counter. Dan makes cutting boards to order and at a fraction of the cost of, say, a booze board. I can put Dan's contact information in the description box below. I don't earn anything when you buy a board from Dan. I just like to promote him because he's such a nice guy and he does amazing work. Put this away. Grab my vase. Floral preservative. So I purchased these flowers earlier this morning and I cut some greens from my garden. And while we work on arranging the flowers, I can answer the next question, which came in from many viewers. Will we ever meet Mr. Fox? Well, Mr. Fox has been in several episodes, but he is not like me. He does not wish to share his private life on YouTube, and I must respect his privacy. So I'm just making a little grid here with my garden-grown greens, which in turn will support my flower shop, flowers and greens. Another question I am sometimes asked is, why do you want fresh cut flowers in your house? And the answer is simply that I like to surround myself with beautiful things. And fresh cut flowers are not that expensive if you know what you're looking for. I tend to buy, one expensive flower, like this rose, and then I buy a lot of filler flowers, like this thistle and this locally grown larkspur. Well, I think this looks fairly respectable. Let me clean up my workstation, and then we can bring the flowers into the music room and continue our Q&A. All right, this next question is from Charlene Williford. Hi, Charlene. What are you reading this summer? I belong to a book club, and we recently read Oscar Wilde's witty 19th century play, The Importance of Being Earnest. And in our club, each member took on one of the characters in the play. So we read the play aloud. My character was Algernon. We had great fun. If you're in a book club, try reading a play aloud sometime. This is from Anonymous. Any guilty pleasures? Well, you can see all of my guilty pleasures in the videos that we film, except I wouldn't use the term guilty. If I want cake, I eat cake. I just make sure that I make the cake entirely by myself from scratch. This is from Marcia Hill Willis. The music in your videos is wonderfully calming. Who is it, and how do you come to choose that particular genre? All my family loves it, and your videos as well. Oh, thank you very much. The music comes from an audio service that I pay for. It's called Epidemic Sound. And the music we select is based on whatever scene we are showing in the video. If I'm stirring something, if I'm mixing something in a bowl, I look for music that has a swirl effect to it. And when we go for drives, we often play the music of Cody Francis. Cody Francis is a marvelously talented singer and songwriter. I hope you will check him out someday. Another question. Did you inherit your house and property from a wealthy relative? No. My spouse and I found this glorious old wreck of a house during one of our weekend trips upstate from New York City. Although the house had great bones, it had fallen on desperate times. The real estate broker told us that the house was built in 1826 and that it had been on the market for a very long time. In other words, no one wanted to buy it. The only legitimate offer that had come in was from a salvage dealer who wanted to remove the staircase banister, the porch columns, the marble fireplace surrounds, and other architectural elements in the house, and then sell them as salvage. In order to save the house from certain demolition, we purchased it at a really, really low price. You'd be shocked at how low that price was. And then we spent the next 20 years restoring the house to its original glory. And we do love this place. It really speaks to us. If you would like to see what this house looked like when we first laid eyes on it, I can put a link to my house tour videos in the description box below. This next question was asked by Paula R. Weymouth, Nancy Pascoe, and Pam Sullivan Goetze. They all wanted to know, what is the story behind Mr. Potato Head? I bought Mr. Potato Head as a prop for food photographs when I was writing my 2017 cookbook, Kevin's Kitchen, and he has been with me ever since. He cheers me on while I'm cooking at the stovetop. And here's a question from Dajana Wint Spargaran. I hope I'm pronouncing her name correctly. Hello, Mr. Kevin Lee Jacobs. What made you set up a website/blog and then a YouTube channel? Well, I created my website/blog back in 2009 as a way to share both recipes and my life. A cookbook editor discovered my website sometime later, and she actually traveled up from New York City to visit me for lunch. I had prepared a very nice lunch for her, and as we discussed possible themes for the cookbook, I happened to mention some lavender cupcakes that I had made earlier that week. And as I described the cupcakes, I happened to mention that the scent of the lavender calmed my spirit and the taste tickled my taste buds. She stopped and said, "You don't need to do a cookbook. The way you describe those cookbooks indicates that you should have a YouTube channel." So it took me several years to do it, but I finally did create this YouTube channel. And I want to thank you all for taking time out of your busy days in order to spend a few moments with me on this channel. I really do cherish your companionship. Now, here are some questions that came in on my YouTube community page. Since your vegetable garden seems to be on the hill, how do you get the watering system up there? Well, I did it the least expensive and most creative way possible. I simply ran a garden hose from the house all the way up the hill to that kitchen garden. And then I dug a trench that was about 8 inches deep and just wide enough to accommodate the hose. And then I buried the hose. And that hose feeds my entire irrigation system for the kitchen garden. What is your all-time favorite piano piece to play? My favorite piano piece tends to be whatever piece I'm currently working on. Like right now, I'm striving to learn the Prelude and Fugue in C-sharp major from Bach's Well-Tempered Clavier. And I recently memorized Chopin's B-flat minor Nocturne. I think it's Opus 9, number 1. Otherwise, my favorite pieces to play are probably Bach's Italian Concerto and Chopin's Ballade in G minor, and also Chopin's Fantasy Impromptu. And Shelley Weeks wants to know if I will talk about my cookware and other kitchen tools and accessories. Well, I actually did a video on my favorite kitchenware, I think last December, and I can put a link to that video in the description box below. I would like to know more about your workouts, and if your trainer, I remember you had one, if he does online trainings for the uncoordinated and unfit. Well, he works with me. Well, I still do my workouts every morning. And I did ask Dwayne if he would do a YouTube channel because he's really good at physical training. He has a great personality, but he has a super busy schedule. Besides being a physical trainer, he is also a state trooper. Geraldine Jones has asked, could you talk about your compost method? Well, my compost method is probably so simple that it would not warrant an entire video, but I will gladly show you where and how I compost in a future video. Donna Holt sent in this next question. How do you find time to do all the things you do, cooking, house, garden, chores? I love your show, your pets. There are times I wish I was sitting there enjoying a meal and a glass of wine with you. Everything you do is so beautiful. Ah, thank you so much. In order to do everything I enjoy doing, I have to get up very early in the morning. My usual wake-up time is 4 a.m., although sometimes I sleep as late as 5 a.m. Julie Chapko asks, Kevin, do you decorate for fall/Halloween? Or do you have Halloween recipes? Well, one very pleasant aspect about living in this old house is that it is naturally decorated for Halloween the whole year round. As for Halloween recipes, yes, I do have a few that I will gladly share with you in October. So please stay tuned. This is from Tim Smith. I enjoy every episode you put out for us. I wonder if you could play the piano a little more. Thank you, Tim. I have played piano in several episodes, but only in very short segments. That's because all of my piano pieces tend to be fairly long. Also, I'm not sure if viewers would want to listen to an 8-minute performance from me. I could be wrong. Melissa Beard asks, when was plumbing and electricity installed in your home, and where did they fit in the bathrooms? That's a really good question. Plumbing and electricity were added to this house in the early 20th century. Of course, there were no bathrooms here. They had to fit them in somehow, and I know that the first bathrooms were placed in linen closets and other storage closets. Rhonda Brockway asks, hi Kevin, where can I purchase your cookbook? Well, if you go to my website, kevinleejacobs.com, you will find a link there for the cookbook, Kevin's Kitchen. Or I can try to remember to link it in the description box below. Thank you for asking. This is from Carrie Donaldson. How did the bedroom wallpaper project go? Well, first, hi Carrie. We still have not found the right wallpaper for the bedroom, even though we have looked at myriad samples. Now, if any one of you happen to know of a good source for wallpaper, historical wallpaper or otherwise, please drop me a note in the comments. I'm determined to find wallpaper for the bedroom. I also want to wallpaper the upstairs bath. What are your thoughts on historic house preservation as the current caretaker of a historic home? Well, I do have a lot to say about historic house preservation. So much to say, in fact, that I think the topic warrants a whole video all by itself, and I will try to film that fairly soon. And this is from Chloe. I admire that you make freezer meals. A freezer tour would be fun. Well, I agree with you, Chloe. A freezer tour would be fun to do, and I can put that on the list of videos to film. Tricia says, can you show us what your morning routine looks like? Well, my morning routine is just that, a routine. I arise at the crack of dawn, drink coffee or tea, bring Avery to the dog park, exercise for 20 minutes in the home gym that my spouse and I created during the pandemic, and then I drink either a smoothie or one of the freezer breakfasts that you and I have made together. Afterwards, I shower and shave and do my skin and hair routine. I can film this routine if you like. You guys have certainly given me a lot of ideas for future videos. Thank you for that. Okay, Bookbridge Press. How did you become interested in cooking and gardening? Or who inspired you? Well, I discussed my inspiration and influences for cooking and garden when I did my previous question and answer episode. And again, I can link that episode in the description below. I hope you will watch and I hope you enjoy it. Do you still have Binky, the cat you rescued in 2020? Yes. Binky is the kitty that I found in my backyard. She was tiny and she was about 5 minutes from death. Today, she is happy and healthy and she frequently appears in these videos. You can see Binky in almost all of my videos along with Goldie and Avery. Goldie is another rescue cat and Avery is my rescue dog. Binky and Avery are rather on the shy side. Goldie, on the other hand, is super social. He should have his own YouTube channel. Now, I have another cooking video to film, so I should probably end this Q&A right here. Again, I want to thank you for sharing all of your questions and for sharing your precious time with me. I'm truly grateful to have you in my life. Please take good care of yourself, and I will see you in the next episode. Cheers, friends.